we have a triangle in which we have circumcenter O, we have this is your O. Okay. From O, if we draw perpendicular on BC, it will be midpoint of BC. There is a G somewhere here. G. We know G divides A dash in the ratio 2s to 1. We know this ratio 2x s to x, and therefore if we join O and G and extend it double, suppose this distance is y, we take this distance 2y, then the point that we will get, we join with A. Okay. Now this is vertex opposite angle and both of them are equal. Therefore, let us call this point Q. Therefore, triangle OGA1 is similar to triangle KGA by SS. Therefore, OG upon KG is equal to GA1 upon GA is equal to OA1 upon KA. That is one part of the story. We get this information because of similarity, and angle OA1G is equal to angle is congruent to AG, right? So this angle theta is equal to this angle theta because of similarity. And therefore, if you extend this line further, it is bound to be perpendicular to BC. Because this implies AK, line AK, parallel OA dash, implies AK perpendicular to BC. Hence, AK is altitude, right?
So
Now,
we can also do like means we can take the other angle as 90 minus theta and 90 minus theta plus theta is equal to 90.
there are infinitely many ways of getting this angle 90 degree. I am just showing you one of the ways. It is very, very easy. Okay. Because these are alternate angles, these two lines are parallel, therefore they are perpendicular to the same line. Now, whatever we have done this for vertex A, we can easily do, which I will quickly do. Suppose this point is B dash, I draw perpendicular. Then the median, this is your B dash is your median, and they are concurrent at G, correct? So what did we do? We joined OG and went back to K. Oh, that means OG and K line continues to remain same for the other vertex also. And then we joined BK. Therefore, similarly, we can prove BK is also supposed to be perpendicular. Similarly, BK perpendicular AC and CK perpendicular AB. Therefore, K is orthocenter.
Earlier we have proved that AH is equal to 2OA dash. So can we just say that because A is equal to 2A dash, OA dash, it is K is equal to H?
Say it again.
Well, like previously, last year we proved that AH is equal to 2OA dash.
Yes.
So here we know that AK is that whole ray is the altitude. So can we just say that because AK is equal to 2OA dash, it is the K is as the
Yes. You can say that. Not a problem. But it would be good if we show point K is a point of concurrency of altitudes. That is the direct way of showing concurrency of altitudes at K, and therefore we will rename this K as capital H, and hence the very important result for any general triangle that we get is O dash G dash H, OGH are collinear, and OG upon GH is equal to 1 upon 2. Also, you must have proved last year when you studied 9-point circle that the center of 9-point circle lies on OGH straight line, and it is midpoint of OG, midpoint of segment OH, and belongs to OH, line OH, and is midpoint. This is additional information I am giving you, which you must have proved last year. It is a midpoint of OH. Okay, that is N is 9-point center. So this is the fundamental proof for OGH collinearity, and this OGH line is called Euler line. The moment you draw any general triangle, OGH are fixed and they are supposed to be collinear. That is what is the implication of this result. Those who have not done earlier, please note down the details. I want you to prove that if we extend our altitude of triangle ABC, this is bad. Okay, this is triangle ABC with circumcircle, and if I drop my perpendicular, which is altitude, and extend it up to circle, this we normally call HA, and this is your H, which is orthocenter. This point is normally denoted by letter D. Prove HD equals HA.
Sir, this was proved last year in altitude circumcircle configuration.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so can you quickly write down the proof in your notebook now, so sure that you are aware and you remember. Prove that HD is equal to HAD. These two segments are congruent. This is congruent to this. And if it happens with one altitude, it will happen with all three. Quickly, if you join this and if you join this, you should be able to prove we know that this angle is x and this angle is x by arctic configuration. And if you consider segment BHA dash, it inscribes x angle at A, therefore it will inscribe x angle at C, and these two angles are 90-90, therefore by SAA triangle HDC congruent to triangle HADC implies HAHD is equal to HAD. Good. One more information which I will be eventually require. I don't know whether you remember it or not. In a circle, if you have a triangle, and you have a diametrically opposite point of A, which is A star. You have H, which is this is O, this is orthocenter, and then if you join H star, bad. If you join H star, you end up getting A dash. A dash midpoint of BC. A star diametrically opposite of A. H orthocenter. To prove that H A dash A star. I am aware that this is done. I just want you to recollect this. To prove that H A dash A star collinear. The handwriting एवढं घाणेरडं काय? Okay. So the moment somebody asks this, you should recollect that this is quadrilateral HBA star C parallelogram. Now, why is this parallelogram? Because BH, ray BH and A star C are perpendicular to AC, hence parallel. Similarly, CH and A star B are perpendicular to AB, hence parallel. So by definition, if a quadrilateral has got both pairs of opposite sides parallel, then it is a parallelogram. And therefore, this is a parallel. And therefore, diagonals bisect each other. Implies H A dash A star collinear. Okay, very good. Now, if I have a point here, A1, and if I have a point here, P, and if I say PA1, if I say PB1 upon PA1 is equal to 2, ratio PB1 upon PA1 is equal to 2, and P comma A1, comma B1 are collinear. Then geometrically, can we construct point PB1, or let me make this ratio 3. Can we geometrically construct B1 in this plane? Yes. You draw this line. This is PA1 denominator, and you want B1, which is 3. This is going to be your B1. Understand? If I say PB2 or PC1 upon PA1 is equal to half. Fair enough. You PC1 upon PA1 is half. Therefore, this must be C1. Array, understand this. If I say PD1 upon PA1 is equal to -1. Can you show me the diagram where this, and then this condition is same for all. Can you show me the position of D in your notebook?
Sir, but
Okay. In Euclidean geometry, using distance postulates, we know that distance AB, if we want to find out, then on real number line, whatever labels are there, point is denoted by capital letter A and its corresponding value is denoted by small a, capital letter B and value is small b, then distance AB is supposed to be absolute value of B minus A because it is absolute distance. How much is the distance between A and B? Actually, whether A first and B second or B first and A second does not matter in this notation. However, if you give importance to AB, that means, I have written it here, from A to B, then it has to be B minus A without absolute value sign. Maybe positive, maybe negative, depends whether A is to the right of B or B is to the right of A, depends. And therefore, directed distance AB is B minus A. Directed distance BA is A minus B, and therefore directed distance AB is opposite of directed distance B minus A. And therefore this ratio is very much possible because one of them is going to be, one of them is negatively signed depending upon this direction to be positive, then you go in the opposite direction to search for D1. So whatever is this distance, you go in the other direction and get your D1. So PD1 is in this direction and PA1 is in this direction. They are opposite to each other. Makes sense to put this negative sign here. In earlier case, PA1 and PB1 both are in the same direction. Therefore, it makes sense to put a positive sign, or you can put negative signs, both of them, but then it will get cancelled out. Okay, so if you have understood this, I would like to create get me point B2, PB2 upon PA2. Okay, for that I need to give you, suppose A is sitting somewhere here, A2. Okay, A2 I have given, hey, P is, wait, let me correct. Undo. P is here, let me make A2 here. So if I give you P, if I give you A2, if I say that all these points need to be collinear, can you get me B2? Can you get me PC2 upon PA2 is equal to half? Can you get me PD2 upon PA2 is equal to -1? Oh, good. Show me your diagram. Of course, you have to use straight edge and pencil to do this. Maybe you can use markings for measuring the distances at the moment, but with compass we need not have to use markings also. So it is easy because I have already shown you how to go about A1, B1 and D1 and C1. So you join A, PA1 and create a straight line this side as well as that side, and maybe take a compass, put a steel point on P, take distance C1, no, take distance A2, make it half, get C2. Take distance PA2, make it 3 times, get point B2. Go to the other side, distance PA2 equals D2. Array, this is so easy that everyone should be able to do it, those who are paying attention. If you are not paying attention, this is extremely difficult. Okay, so you check whether you are paying attention or not. It has nothing to do with your intellectual capacity. It is the only thing that it has to do is whether you are interested in whatever is being discussed, whether you are concentrating or not. This has nothing to do with your previous knowledge also. Very, very simple. And therefore, now I will show you that suppose I join A1, A2 and take one more point over here, not midpoint, over here. Let me make it a little bigger and call that point A3. Can you quickly get me corresponding B3? Get B3, C3, D3 quickly. Can you get me these points very quickly? Easy. Join B1, B2 segment and draw a line passing through P and A3 wherever it will intersect B1, B2, C1, C2 and D1, D2. Those are the points D3, C3 and B3. Why? Why will those points be the required points? And they will give me these ratios. What do we mean by those points? PB3 upon PA3 is going to be 3. PC3 upon PA3 will be equal to half. And PD3 upon PA3 will be equal to -1. Easy. Just think about why will it happen. Why is it true? Because the moment you have these two ratios equal given over here, there are similar triangles. PA1A2 happens to be similar with PC1C2, it's similar with PB1B2, it's similar with PD1D2, and therefore corresponding angles are equal. Therefore, A1A2 is parallel to B1B2, is parallel to C1C2, is parallel to D1D2. And therefore, we have a BPT and similarity BPT configuration where PA1 upon PC1 would be equal to PA3 upon PC3 and so on for all. That is the correct valid reason. So indirectly what we are saying that A1, A2 is parallel to B1, B2. If we are doing this kind of activity, similarity is helping us to get A1, A2 parallel to B1, B2. And therefore, now the language that I am going to use, we have used it in combinatorics function lecture. If A1, A2 is my, all the points on A1, A2 are my pre-image. For that matter, say A1 is pre-image, B1 is image. A1 is pre-image, B1 is image, and what is the function? Function is, you should find out B1 such that PB1 upon PA1 is equal to 3 and they are collinear. That is the description of the rule by which you are supposed to find out B1. So it is in functions language. Put A1 inside the function, you will get B3. Put A2 in the function, you will get B2. Sorry, put A1, you will get B1. Put A2, you will get B2. Therefore, if I put any point on segment A1, A2, let me make it big. If I put any point on segment A1, A2 in that function, I should get corresponding image. Suppose this is point A10. If I want corresponding image of A10, simple, draw supposed to be straight line, you get V10. Alright, do you agree with this? If I have got some point over here which is V100, which is image of some A100 on line segment A1, A2. Can I get back? I know image. Yes, I can get pre-image. I know pre-image. I can get image. This point will give you A100. Oh my God, this is good. Therefore, number of points on segment A1, A2 is exactly equal to number of points on segment B1, B2. Agree or not? Let us assume a situation where we have a P here. We change the color. We have a P here, and I have got some balls put like this in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let us call the first point, first table tennis ball as A1 and last table tennis ball as A2. And now from here, we are putting a light source of light. Okay. And it is, source of light is like from P you are emitting light and it will go in straight line because light will travel in straight line. So A1, A2, maybe if I make the ratio 2, will become B1, B2. A1 will become B1 and the ratio is 2, double. And therefore table tennis ball shadow will be a lawn tennis ball. And therefore you will end up having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. They are touching each other. So if there are finitely many 10, then there are finitely many 10. Again 1, 1 correspondent. If you put a ray like this, it will hit this ball. If this is A4, it will be B4 and so on. If this is A7, B7, then it will have corresponding A7. So when it comes to finite, you are thinking it's correct. But when it comes to infinite, such happen because somebody has used word densely populated and loosely populated. So number line is densely populated. Whenever you choose any 2 points on real number line, there will be infinitely many lines between the 2 points, between any 2 points on the real number line. We will get into it little later, but the only question remains is if I take this segment back and at one point. So far there is a distance between the segment and P, this theory is true. But the moment you try to say that my Z1, Z2 segment is coincident with P. So P, Z1 and Z2, they are lying one above the other and they are all of them are 1 point, then we will be in trouble because it is a 1 point. P is 1 point. P is not infinitely many points. P is 1 point. We will be in trouble. You think that we will be in trouble, but we will not be, because the denominator P Z1 that you are making here, I mean, both the ratios that you will make there are going to be illegal. The ratio is going to be illegal. And therefore, you can draw as many parallel segments as you want, not passing through P, number of points on each of them, not only this side, but other side also, all minus ratios also will possess exactly same number of points. This is very important, and you start thinking in this direction and start aligning your thoughts to the concept of infinity, to the concept of no dimension to the point, no dimension to the straight line. Earlier you get aligned, it is better for you. Okay, conversely, if suppose I have A1, A2 parallel to B1, B2, the two segments not of same length, and there is another point A3 and B3 which possess exactly same ratio with respect to A1, A2 and B1, B2 respectively. Can we prove that B1, A1, B3, A3 and B2, A2 are concurrent? So,
Sir,
if these two segments are parallel, of course the lines joining B1, A1, A2, B2 and A3, B3 will be concurrent, and indirectly you can prove, if possible, B3, A3 passes through some other point, and then the ratios, if you write, you will get the contradiction, and that kind of proofs I hope you must have done in 8th standard. Therefore, I am not writing that proof. It is an indirect method.
Yeah.
But whatever we are discussing right now is available in the form if and only if we have a point P, if we have A1, and if we have ratio PA1 upon PB1, we can find out B1. And if somebody gives me A1 and B1, I can find out P. That is the thing that we have learned so far. Okay. So, and another thing which I would like to note here is, if there is a segment, its image becomes another segment which is parallel to the first. Now a special case, let us take a special case here. A1, A2 is pre-image and B1, B2 is image, and they are of exact same length and they are parallel to each other. This is second limiting case. So now we are able to say that B1A1 and B2A2 will be concurrent. B1A1 and B2A2 will be concurrent. They are of exactly same length. Now this would have been easy to explain why number of points on A1, A2 equals number of points on B1, B2. I mean, yes. Fortunately, now we are in trouble saying, will they intersect at one point?
no, sir.
Somebody has got mic on, please switch off. What is so in this case, the opinion of the class is that we won't get point P because they are exactly same, and it's a parallelogram, or in this case it is a rectangle, or it looks like square, and there is no way that B1A1 and B2A2 will intersect. Gone. Question. At 12 noon, if you are putting a rod exactly parallel to the ground at 12 noon on a special day, what is the length of shadow that you will get of rod A1, A2? It is going to be exactly same as B1, B2. It will be exactly same as B1, B2. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
So if in real life a shadow of A1, A2 rod is exactly equal to B1, B2, we say that these are two parallel rays that we receive from sun on the earth. Now, the distance between earth and the sun is finite. We are talking about the distance much more than that. And therefore, we will conclude saying that parallel lines intersect at infinity. They intersect at infinity. And something similar to the shadow of A1, A2 on the earth B1, B2, because they are equal. There might be slight change in distance because you will not be able to measure it also, because the sun is far away and sun is anyway not a point source. We have to get light from a point, and therefore for all practical purposes these lines are parallel. Moreover, I would demonstrate you. Suppose I am keeping my A1, A2 fixed. If point P is here, my B1, B2, I am keeping it double, it is of this length. If I take this P little away from A1, A2 and join, then I am supposed to get the length of the image smaller. If I take P further ahead, little away, I will get length of the image further smaller compared to A1, A2. You have to compare with B1, B2. Okay, and every time image is B1, B2. So as you take P away, if you take P closer to B1, B2, अरे काय चाललंय? Your image is going to be very, very large. Do you understand this diagram? Image is
Yes, sir.
far bigger. If you take your P away, your image is becoming smaller and smaller. And therefore, if you take this P so much away that the distance A1, A2 and B1, B2 would become exactly equal. So it's a dynamic situation. Dynamic situation. P is going far away. Therefore, A1 is equal to A2. And therefore, whatever geometric discussion that we have carried out is absolutely correct. Number of points are exactly same. You are not allowed to hit P. You can be little away from P and all the number of points will tally. As P goes to infinity, the distance A1, A2 becomes equal to distance B1, B2. And that equal to B1, B2 does not matter where you draw B1, B2. Every time, if those are two parallel rays, you can have B1, B2, C1, C2, D1, D2, anywhere, everywhere your distance is going to be exactly same.